It is party time. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my personal branding and how to create a dope brand on a budget free training. Branding is one of those tricky things that can take a little while to figure out. I have been doing it for many years, and I have to say that a lot of the things that I know today and do very well are things that I taught myself in the very beginning. One of the very biggest questions that I get from a lot of community members, peers, and clients is, how will I ever create an incredible looking brand with such a tight budget? I never want something like that to hold you back from achieving what you want to achieve in life. And that is why we're here today. Okay, so anyone can create a name, a community, a portfolio. If you are looking to create a side hustle or that extra income on the side of whatever you do for a living, perhaps you're ready to market a new product that you have made or service that you provide. Or maybe it's just a cause, like a fundraiser or a cause that you really care about. And if you fall into the category of business owner, you just want to level stuff up, you can do that so easily in today's digital landscape on a budget and using free tools, which is what I'm going to show you today, is all using free tools. Okay, so there are no excuses after this. So first things first, what sets you apart is having not only a professional brand, but one that is clear, one that is rooted in purpose, and one that is reflective of you in a very real way. I think the biggest thing that I'm noticing in the work that I'm doing today is that the generations coming up, they can smell bullshit. And so if you are a company or a person trying to sell things without authenticity, if you're just trying to, like make the sale, pull the wool over people's eyes, they're going to know. The generations coming up, they grew up with advertising. And so I'm not going to jump into this because I could go on and on about this topic, but at a very high level, these are things that I want you all to be thinking about and watching out for. You need to present yourself as truly and authentically as you can. I know for a lot of us, that's a little scary, not because we don't want to be authentic or genuine, but because it's kind of scary to put ourselves out there. That is a whole other training, my friends. So the pushback that I often hear from people is that, the trouble that they're experiencing or the struggle there is either not having enough time or budget to make it happen, right? And I understand that. I have been in that position and in that mindset and in that space as well. It doesn't feel good, I know. But I want you to know that that's all going to stop for you today, because I'm going to help you out. Okay, so I'm going to jump into the presentation now. We're going to get going. And then, so I have a few slides that I'm going to kind of walk you through together here. And then I'm going to go into, I'm going to share a different screen where I'm going to actually walk you through a lot of what I do to create a lot of, actually all of my branding I have done using the tools that I'm going to show you today. And so essentially I'm lifting the hood of the car and showing you how it's made today. Okay, so let's jump in. So personal branding, how to create a dope brand on a budget. Let's get going. Okay, so today's presentation, as I had mentioned, some of the main topics I want to go over first before we dive into the tutorial is why this shit matters, okay? I'm going to break that down for you and how the landscape, this digital landscape, is changing for all of us. And then you're going to meet your teacher. Spoiler, that's me. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself in case you are not aware. If you guys already know me, feel free to skip ahead. That is the beauty of live recordings, that you can play back and replay on your own time. Then I'm going to go into personal branding, how to set yourself up with a strong personal brand and the aspects and the characteristics that you need to look out for, and then the tools and things that you are going to be using to build that brand. Okay. So whether you are in the position of you've already started a brand and you're just maybe not feeling it, you want to tighten it up or level it up, this is a good presentation for you. Or if you're just getting started, this will show you kind of those basics and show you some really hot tips and tricks, which is going to make your life so much easier. Okay. So meet your teacher. I guess we're going to meet your teacher first, and then I'm going to go into why it matters. You guys. My name is Lacey Heels. I am a marketing strategist and a brand and business coach. Okay. But that is not where my story started. I went to your classic post-secondary school for a communications degree. I got a bachelor's honors degree. I didn't know what I was doing with that. It was super generic, super general. I knew that I was really good at writing. I knew that I was really good at telling stories. I just didn't know how I was going to use those interests and those skills to bring me to where I am today and to build a career. Without getting too into the weeds, I very quickly out of school jumped into technology startups, where that's where I started to do a lot of marketing, branding, content work. So basically in the trenches, figuring it out as I went, teaching myself how to do a lot of pretty technical things. So how to manage, social media strategy, how to create a content calendar, how to build a brand from the ground up, and do it on such a limited budget. So my days as a startup marketer have really helped me in all of the different chapters of my life. So that was really exciting. I then moved into, I've worked for government, I've worked in agencies, I've worked for some of the biggest brands across Canada in my corporate marketing world. And then flash forward to about 3 years ago. That is when I had reached the peak of my career. I was getting promotions. I was climbing the corporate ladder. I was managing a team. I was representing so many big brands. That was the dream. That was the dream I had been chasing. And when I arrived at that place, I was so shook at how unhappy and how unhealthy I was. And this is a very long story and probably again for another day, but the reason I share this is because it lit a fire under my ass to do something different. I thought to myself, do I really want to live a life like this where I'm just chasing the next promotion, climbing the corporate ladder, taking my work home, not having good boundaries, not truly being fulfilled by what I do? It was a bit of a wake-up call. And so the next 4 months after that saw me really stretch outside of my comfort zone and prepare for takeoff. The next chapter of my life and what I'm going to share with you here is what happened after I took the leap, left my corporate job to pursue my side hustle at the time, which was just, marketing freelance work. And also I was painting. Oh, you can see one of my little paintings in progress in the back there. I also do abstract art and sell that, among other things. So when I was leaving my corporate job, that was what I really wanted. I wanted more creativity, more art in my life. And I wanted to choose who I was working with. And I did it. I've been doing it now for 3 years. And I've learned a fuck ton. But I want to tell you how personal branding and self-promotion changed my life. You see, I would not have been able to leave that job or even have the courage to do what I did had I not learned what I learned in my different jobs, different positions and careers and chapters. If I didn't learn what I learned about personal branding and promoting yourself and how to do it, I wouldn't have been able to take the driver's seat of my life and take control of how it looked and how it felt. So that was a huge, monumental shift for me. And if you are sitting here listening and you're feeling that too, maybe after this presentation, connect with me, because this is who I work with now. I help others do what I have done. And it's navigating those kind of heavy waters, those unsure waters of change and transition. So how did I use personal branding to change my life? Well, as you see here on the side here, there is a list of titles, roles, identities. I have claimed each and every one of them with, at first, sort of shaky confidence. You know, that whole saying, fake it till you make it, was a little bit of that at the start. But then I really took ownership of it, and I presented it to the world in such a way that it allowed me to pursue my biggest dreams and make a living doing the things that I was not only really good at, but I really loved, that really filled me up. And so to this day, that has brought me to where I am now with you. So my career started, marketing strategist. This is where my corporate background comes in. That is the chapter of my life. And I took pride in it, and I still do, but that was my main identity. Commercial artist. I am an accidental creative entrepreneur. I'll tell you that for free. And it was social media that allowed me to do that. It was just kind of on accident. I shared what I was working on, and then people asked if they could buy it. I thought, like, what? You want to buy this for me? So then very quickly, I became a commercial artist. In my first year of entrepreneurship, I ended up selling more art that year than I had in the previous 8 years on the side. And that number is 111 paintings, in case you were curious. Then I really wrapped my head around being a business owner. And that looks different because I do a lot of different things in my life now. I work with clients one-on-one on their business and their marketing strategies. I do coaching, which is a little different, but kind of the same. It's a little more hands-off, and it's more sort of self-guided, and I'm helping to put people on the right path. And I'm also a podcast host. So that is another newer identity. I started a podcast in the last 2 years for a creative community that I started called the Makers Collective. I will provide links to all of this if you are not already a member. It is a community, a podcast and business development hub for creative entrepreneurs, makers, artists, solopreneurs. And through that, I became a community builder, and it's something that I am hugely proud of. I am a mental health advocate for this community. I think it's so important as creatives to, put your mental health and your creativity at the forefront and not be afraid of it. Take the stigma away from it. So these are just a few of the things, the many things that personal branding has allowed me to not only identify with myself, but to present that story to the world in a way that was positioned, like I had mentioned, clearly rooted in my purpose and reflective of me in a very genuine way. For the first time in a long time, I felt like I was showing up as myself in the world, and branding on a budget allowed me to do it. And so that brings us to right now, business coach for creatives. And all of this training and all of this new content that I'm starting to put out into the world is all about you guys. It's about creatives. It's about, truly, if we're being real, it's about who I was 3 years ago and what I wish I had available to me to walk the path that I am now on. So that is a little bit about me. Obviously, there are some more things that I'd love to share with you. Like, I love me a good song, little dance party. I have a boxer puppy whom I love and who is laying right beside me and kind of snoring right now. If you can hear that, that is Sydney. And I love my friends, I love my family, and I love building community. I am a real weirdo, but what I do with all of my heart, and I'm so glad to now have all of you in my orbit. So thanks for being here. Okay, now let's jump in. Personal branding. Two of the biggest things that I want you to take away from this training today are that I need you to look the part. You cannot fuck around with this stuff. I have seen people, the most creative, the most intelligent, the most talented people that I have met in my life, they present themselves in a way that is not reflective of their expertise and their gifts. And whether we like it or not, it can hurt you. It can really hurt you in the space of marketing and business building and trying to make a livelihood for yourself. So the biggest thing today is I need you to step it up and look the part, and we are going to help you create a professional branding kit. Okay, so you're not alone. You don't have to feel scared, because I have been there. I have done it myself. I now do it for a lot of my clients and help my coaching clients do it for themselves. So you're not alone. You've got someone here who's going to take your hand and walk you through it. It's not going to be scary. I have got your back. Okay, so we are going to get you to look the part, and I need you to anchor everything that you do in your purpose. Other words for purpose are, what is your goal? What is your mission? Why are you pursuing the thing that you are pursuing, the thing that you are trying to brand today? Whatever it is, doesn't matter what it is. Why? You need to understand that. And I can't tell you how often I see business owners skipping this part before they start building the aesthetic brand. Okay. So first of all, the strongest foundation you're ever going to have is who are you? Why are you doing this? Why does it matter to you? So if you haven't figured that out yet, I want you to journal on it tonight. Okay. Before we dive into any of this stuff, you can replay this video later, but you need to figure out your why. And if you need a little help with that, I do have a course and a module all about finding your purpose and why it's important and how to do it. Okay, so personal branding, what the heck is it? Essentially, it is the act of marketing yourself and your career as a brand, right? So when I talk about personal branding versus just quote unquote branding, this is about integrating who you are with what you do for a living, okay? And all of my years helping corporate brands, it was a lot less about the personal side and a lot more about, the products and the corporation as a whole. And there's a time and place for that, but I see most entrepreneurs really go far and really succeed if they do not shy away from inserting themselves into their branding. That's what people are looking for. That is what people want to buy. They want to buy from other people. And if you're not showing up and if you're not integrating that into your brand, it's going to be a lot less personal, and it's going to be harder to reach people in a really genuine, meaningful way. Okay, so why this is vital for creatives, side hustlers, and entrepreneurs. This allows you to take control of your career and livelihood. So as I mentioned before, that personal branding changed my life. It really did, because it gave me the confidence, the ability to know that I could steer the ship, that I didn't have to rely on anyone else to do it for me. I didn't have to, stress out about a big, budget. Often if we want to go to someone for branding, it's usually agencies or consultants, and it's very expensive. I still provide consulting services, as you know, for a lot of people. That price tag is, and it goes up as the years of experience go up too, right? And so if you're just getting started and you're like, oh shit, like what am I going to do? It can be very daunting to feel like you don't have the resources to hire the expert to do it for you. And even some workshops that you can go to that are sort of like here, we're going to show you how to fish, even those can be a little bit pricey based on whatever your budget is right now. Okay. So knowing that you can do this on a budget, on a shoestring budget, really gives you back the power, which is so beautiful. Another thing, we are shifting into a gig economy. So I don't care if you're just a one-person show, you are moving into a space. Gig economy basically means that now more than ever, there is so much business happening for contractors, for freelancers, for one-off sort of project work. And a lot of big corporations are starting to jump on board with this. We're seeing a lot of people who are employed by bigger companies go off on their own to run their own ship, because they know that they can get this gig work and contract work. Gig economy is not going anywhere. And this is how I'm thriving. This is how I've created my own business, because essentially my work is gig based. So something to really take note of as you're building out your brand, your project or your business, whatever it is that you're branding right now. If you create a dope brand, it will help you stand out from your competition. We are going to get into this in a little minute, but it's super important for you to, again, like present that polished professional portfolio and brand, because again, like there's always going to be competition. I do believe that there is enough for everyone, but it will set you apart. And if you can do it properly, you're going to attract the exact clients and community that you are meant to attract, because you're showing up as yourself in a really polished professional way. So that's going to set you apart. It's also going to help you showcase your skills in your portfolio. So maybe you're not even at the place yet where you're looking to build a business or even a side hustle, but you're thinking to yourself, I'm fresh out of school, or I want to get a different type of job, but I need to gain the skills and build the portfolio to get that job, to get that contract, to get whatever it is that you are looking to move toward. Being able to brand yourself and show your portfolio is going to allow you to get that. And again, this final point is it's going to allow you to grow your business and make sales. I always tell people in a lot of the workshops that I run, like, just because you've done all the work or you hired the person to build your brand and your website and your business online does not mean that it then stops, right? I think that branding, as well as our own self-identity and expression, are always going to be evolving. And I want you to embrace the idea of that. Like, just think of this as the starting point, the jumping board. This is the place where you say to the world, look, this is who I am, this is what I do, and I'm not going anywhere. And as you grow, as you learn more about yourself and your clients and how you can help them, your brand will probably change and evolve as well. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely someone who changes with the seasons. And so even like right down to my branding, colors, fonts, things like imagery, I will shift that basically like once a year. I evolve that. And some people will tell you not to do that. Just personally, that is my own preference. So I want you to know that just because you start here doesn't mean that you then have to stick with that plan. Okay. And it's going to help you, again, like I said, grow your business and make more sales if you can show that you too are growing as well. Okay. So what I commonly see that keeps creative stuck and even like growth slow is a few of these things. So not knowing yourself or your why. I mentioned this a little bit before. If this kind of stresses you out and you're thinking like, A, I don't know what you're talking about. B, I just don't even know where to start with figuring out my why. It's okay, no stress. I just want you to know that as you go along, this is going to become more and more important, especially when it comes to attracting your dream community members or donators or clients, whatever that thing is that you're pushing for. Because if you aren't clear on your values, your mission, your purpose, why you're doing this, then your clients are going to be confused too. And you'll notice that in that space of assumption and vagueness is that is where things start to stagnate. That is where it becomes really difficult to close the sale or get the job or fundraise for the campaign. I've been there, and that's why I know this. So as clear as you can get on why you're doing this and what your goal is with it all, the better. Thinking a logo is your brand. This is so common. I think, obviously it's a very important part of your brand, but your brand is a very wholesome thing, and your logo is a small piece of it, right? It's like your name tag. If you're going to a party, the name tag is the logo. You, my dear, you are the brand, okay? From the way you wear your hair, to the way you present yourself, the way you dress yourself, the way you communicate, the things you're passionate about, what you care about, how you make the things that you make, who it is that you serve, and why you've come to serve them in your life, and so much more. I think the identity or the branding colors, the logos, the things like that we create for ourselves, that is just like the polished sort of cover that we put on who we are and how we're showing up. So try to keep that in mind, okay? Don't think that this logo is everything, because it's not. It's just one piece of a big pie. On that note, not knowing your target market, so not knowing who your product, services, or campaign is for, is potentially detrimental. You really got to get clear on who it is that you're helping, and again, why. And that comes down to doing the research. That's what they call market research. So if you already have an idea of who it is that you're serving, I think there's never a time that you can just get comfortable with that. Similar to the way your brand evolves, I think your client is always going to be evolving too. And so keep keep in touch with those people. So let's just say you've grown a bit of an audience and you have a client or a roster base of potential clients. Don't be afraid to connect with them. Ask them where they're struggling, what they'd like more of, how their products have or have not helped them, what they'd like to see more of. The more that you can know about your target market, the more specific and effective you can be in your branding online. Again, look the part. So a big thing that does keep people stuck is brand inconsistency. I'm going to illustrate some examples of this and how to do it right during the tutorial. But if someone, let's just say you're at a party, you give someone your business card. And in this landscape, people, you know what people do. They find you and they creep everything about you before they make a buying decision about you. So let's just say you're at a party and you give them your business card. You're like, hey, hit me up on Instagram. Okay, great. They go to your Instagram and they're like, okay, cool, cool, cool. Then they click to your website, or they find other social platforms, or they sign up for your mailing list. And then they start to see that, like, okay, on your Instagram you have this, but on, you know, your website, broken links, doesn't look the same, different language. Is this a different person? Like, did I find the right website? Those sort of experiences for people really affect your brand and the credibility that you have with people. And maybe it has nothing to do with the fact that you know, aren't an inconsistent person. It's just that your branding is inconsistent, and then people start to associate meaning to that. So not looking the part or having an inconsistent brand across different platforms is also pretty detrimental. So that's the thing that can keep things slow for you. And then hiding behind the brand. This is such a huge one. So as I said, people like to buy from people. If you're hiding behind your brand and you're not showing your face, you're not speaking up, you're not showing up, you're not sharing who the creator is behind the product, the service, the campaign, it's sort of like a faceless thing that people are interacting with, and that's fine, but it can only take you so far. And I find especially with creative endeavors or one-on-one services or things that like come from the heart, if you are hiding behind the brand, it's so hard to create that connection, that emotional connection with people. And that is what builds trust. And especially in a space of being online. I mean, how many people, hands up, if you have met someone, interact with someone on Instagram, built a relationship with them, and then you meet them in person and, you know, one of two things happens. You're like, damn, this person is exactly how they're showing up. Or damn, who the fuck is this? Like, I did not expect this. All this is to say is it can, the experience that someone has with you and your brand online can help them create the same sort of bonds that they would if they were in person with you. So like way back in the day when we'd go into someone's shop or house and just shake their hand, give them a hug, meet them, we're creating emotional connection. We're creating trust. And in my space, I'm always encouraging my clients to recreate those experiences for people in their online efforts. I want to bring the human back into marketing and branding and all of this stuff, because without it, what are we? We are robots. We are showing up as, you know, filtered versions of ourselves. So please find that courage, step out behind the brand and show people who it is behind and within the brand. That's you. That is you. Okay. So before we get into the tutorial, I want to help you get a little bit more clear on your personal branding. So here are just a couple of categories that I want you to take note of before we jump into the how-to. So again, like I'd said, understand your audience, right? So establish who your audience or potential customers are and what they need. This is going to be super important in your messaging, in how you present, in the language that you use in your branding, that sort of thing. The better you can understand who you're speaking to, the better you can present yourself. Look the part, like I said, whatever chapter you are at in your journey, you must look the part and create that professional looking brand, because it's really going to help you achieve what you want to achieve and get results. Define your purpose or your why. Understanding your big why is so vital to packaging yourself. And that's what branding is. It's just packaging yourself and appealing to that ideal audience. So knowing your why, and I'll give myself as an example. So what is my why? I want to empower creative entrepreneurs to take control of their life and earn money in a way that feels good. Ultimately, that is my big why. And so everything that I do, whether it is like a free thing that I'm hosting in my local community, if it's on the podcast, if it's with my business, if it's on social media, all of it is being funneled through my purpose of trying to help creatives empower themselves, become educated, and get the tools that they need so that they can take the driver's seat of their life. And they're not, a passive, a passenger in their life, because that is how I was living for quite a while I was coming up in my career. And I now clearly understand the difference of how it feels to be in control versus just experiencing your life by default. And then this is the other thing, presenting your unique value proposition will help set you apart from your competition. So a unique value proposition, what is that? That is, okay, so let's just say I provide brand and business coaching for people. And then my neighbor also provides brand and business coaching for people. The way that you present your unique value, the thing that differentiates you from the other guy, the competition, is how you do it. So who are you as a brand and business coach? How do you help others? What is your process? Why is your approach different than anyone else's? So if you can kind of like hone in on what that is, and this might come with time and testing and experience, being able to show that through your branding is super, super powerful. Okay, so we're going to move on. Okay, so how do you build an effective personal brand? And this is what we're going to get into in the how-to tutorials. So what I'm going to show you is how to get inspired, how to start figuring out where to go, how to come up with the look and feel of your brand, and the different tools that you can use for free to do this. So I'm going to walk you through how to find your color palette. Love a color palette. I actually just changed a lot of my branding and my color palette. I updated it to 2019 Lace. So I'll show you a little bit of that. Pinterest is always a great tool if you're just looking to kind of brainstorm and get the ideas, get that creative energy flowing. And then canva.com. This is what I'm going to use to show you all of the how-tos. This is a free, simple graphic design tool that I have used for years now. And now I have like a paid business account, but you can use so many of the same features on the free account for as long as you need to. It is going to be a game changer for you in your life and in your business. It's so amazing. I love it so much. And then unsplash.com. This is just another great resource while you're creating content to get free, royalty-free images. So stock images that you can use in all your branding that are made by other creatives. And it's sort of like this community group share where you can use their photos. You can credit them or not credit them. That's up to you. But I love it. I've used it for years as well. Okay, so after the tutorial, if you want to dive deeper with your girl, Lace, there are a few ways that you can either connect with me, stay in touch with me, or work with me. So I'm going to go over that real quick before we jump in. I want you to think about joining my private coaching group if this sounds like something you would be into. I'm going to be going into a lot of topics just like this and other just sort of mindset, energy, lifestyle things as well. The group is called Liberate Your Life on Purpose, and I'm posting live videos there every Wednesday. So please join us. It's free. It's amazing. I'm loving the group of people showing up for it. I just love it. You can also follow me on all the social medias at Lacey J Heals. It's the same across all the platforms. You can now book a one-on-one coaching consult with me. Before I wouldn't take on one-off coaching sessions with people. I would just have my coaching packages, which are at minimum 3-month obligation. But then I was like, you know what? Sometimes all you need is like a really focused one-on-one session to present what it is you're working on or working through And maybe you need someone to just give you another perspective, give you some strategy and some immediate next steps to go get through that blockage or that step that you are kind of having and hawing with yourself. So if that is something that you would want, you can book a one-on-one coaching with me on my website. Also, stay tuned. I do a lot of in-person workshops. I'm hoping to post more online trainings like this that are super accessible. And then I do have some online courses and programs on my website as well. So check it all out. I will leave links for you to find all the things. Obviously, I want to get to know all of you a little bit better. So make sure you say hey on social media or in the group, and I will talk to you there. Okay, now we're going to jump into the tutorial. So, oh my God, I think my puppy is having a dream. Okay, so maybe you are looking to start your brand fresh from the ground up. Maybe you want to give your brand a little refresh, or perhaps maybe you have a new project or a product or a campaign that you want to give its own unique brand. Okay, so whatever your goal or purpose is, all of these tools are going to be useful to you. So first things first, if you're just looking to brainstorm and get things started, this is where I go to inspiration, is I go to Pinterest. So if you're not familiar with Pinterest, it's sort of like a digital pin board, scrapbooking type of a tool. I have always used Pinterest to start my ideas. So whether it was for a commissioned art piece for someone, as you can see, these are some of my boards. Or if it was just like trying to come up with a look, a feel, a vibe for a brand or a logo. Like I'm going to show you a couple of these. So this was, what was this one for? So this pin, yellow warm golden dripping. I'm pretty sure this was for an art project. But as you can see, it's not necessarily just like a color, you know, pictures of colors or things. It could be, you know, you could be capturing, you know, scenes. Like obviously here I was going for a lot of outdoorsy sunsets, looking at, you know, natural wood inside houses, pinning, you know, people, items, accessories, art, jewelry, you know, anything that would really spark my ideas and get things flowing to get started. That is what I was using, right? So I have also walked some of my clients through this exercise together. So what I would do, so here I'm going to show you one of my clients' brand board. So how we started to really think about her branding and her colors and just the feelings that she wanted people to have is I started a pin or a board for her on Pinterest. And then I started to pin some things based on what she talked to me about in our session. And then I invited her to come and curate it and add to it. So as you can see, we've got some quotes, lots of, you know, natural sort of ocean vibes, plant vibes, lots of teals, lots of blues, people that she wanted to emulate online who are doing it well. So I encourage you, if you're kind of stuck, because I know I've been there when you're starting a project, it's easy to kind of get stuck in your head. Just turn it off, put on some music, get onto Pinterest, start pinning random things. And then when you're done, take a bird's eye view of it and see how it starts to take shape, right? And so from there, where I naturally get people to go to is we need you to be thinking about your color palette for your branding. And this again can really stump people. So what I get them to do is go to a website called colors.co. So that's COOLORS.co. Okay, so I want you, here we're going to start over here. That was something else. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It's essentially a free tool to generate a color palette. And that color palette is going to give you the hex codes, all of the things that you might need to then go and create things for your brand. So I want to show you just how easy this is. So let's just say that on Pinterest, can I download? Yeah, so download image. Let's just say you really think this photo is dope and you love it and you're like, I don't even know what these colors are. Like, how do I How do I figure that out? You're going to take that image. It could be an image of anything. Go to the colors.co site. See this here? Start the generator. It's free. Great. Thank you. And then it's as easy as this, guys. This is like my favorite thing about it. Okay, so it's gonna pop up, right? It's gonna give you some random colors because that's what the generator is. But what you really want to do is take an image. This is a great place to start. So upload any image, and what it's going to do, so we're going to take that image I just downloaded from Pinterest, drop it in there, and then what this tool does is it automatically generates all of the colors and pulls out the codes for you so that you can start working on your color palette. And as you can see, so if you click here, I'm going to close this for a hot sec. So if you click here on the main color, right now it's showing this. You can move this around. See how beautiful this is? So you can basically, let's just say you like the color of this creamy cloud. Great, that's color 1. Color 2, don't really care about this, but I do like this like deep royal blue. Number 3, ooh, I don't know about this, but I do like, whatever, maybe like here. This looks closer to a white. I always recommend you have like a white or a black or a neutral color in your color palette to work with. So I'm going to stick to that one. And then here, I'm such a sucker for a black, so I'm going to go there. Okay. And then, sorry, I think my screen is just a little bit too small. Okay. So then you have, again, kind of scrolled over your image. You've selected your colors that you want. And then what you do is you press OK. Sick. Then it generates your palette for you. Let's just say that you're not totally sold on all of these colors and you want to fine tune them. That's where this tool gets to get really freaking cool. So here you can start to play around. You can play around with the saturation, the brightness. You can really fine tune the colors that you want for your brand palette. Okay. So I'm just going to, show you that. You can go ahead in this tool and play around a little bit more deeply, but this is how I always get started. Let's just say you have, a particular order that you want your brand to go in. I will usually order the first 2 as like my primary colors that I'm going to be using through all my branding. And then the last 3 as like those tertiary colors, secondary and tertiary colors that I'll be using maybe for links or hover colors or outlines, things like that. So once you're done here and you're happy with this, then all you really have to do is like you can download this or you can copy and paste these codes. I'd suggest you just copy and paste these codes into like a notepad so that they're easy to like grab and go, copy and paste. You can also download this. So how do I download this again? View, exit full screen. Okay, so then, oh, here it is. So then you can export this. You can export this whole thing, so a list of your colors and the codes as a PNG, as a PDF. This is really cool if you do have team members or contractors that you're working with, because then you can just send this to them. And then they're going to get a breakdown of the hex code, the RGB code, the CMYK codes, all for all of your brand colors, okay? This is a game changer, guys. So that's the next tool that I would have you walk through, okay? Once you have a list of all of your hex codes, because that's what we're going to use inside of Canva, you are good to go. Feel free to take your time with this. Play around with it until it feels right. And even if you just use it as like a starting point, that is great. Okay, so then I want to jump inside of a tool called canva.com. Okay, so canva.com. Just gonna go to the main page here. So this is a free graphic design tool. It's sort of like a template-based thing that you can use. It's a drag and drop situation. Regardless of your technical abilities, this is a super easy platform to learn, and it's free as well. So this is where I have created all of my branding. I'm talking my logos, my brand toolkit, all of my social media banners, branded banners, branded content, graphics. I have created my my client contracts in here that are branded. I've created proposals in here, business cards, social media, like Instagram story templates. You think of it, you name it, I have done it and made it inside of Canva, and it has really set me apart and leveled up my brand online, and now you can do it too. So first of all, I just want to show you just like a basic overview of this tool, right? So when you're ready to get started, there are easy templates to choose from. So you can just like, let's just say you want to create a logo. So you just search that, and they have templates that you can start with. Okay, so on Canva, what happens is when you pull up a certain dimension or, you know, template, then they're going to give you a breakdown of different templates that you can drag and drop over and start playing with. So I'm just going to show you real quick before we get going. So they've got like, oh, are you a band, computer logo, food and drink, education. So they're all kind of categorized like that, which is awesome. So let's just say that we want to do something easy. Let's do this one. Okay, so you just, again, drag and drop it over. Let's just say that Lacey's opening up her own cocktail bar, Lacey's Bar. Okay, I know this is really silly and basic, but it's going to start with a template that you can play around with. Then you can modify it and refine it and make it your own, right? So you can either just borrow from the templates and use them and just change the colors and the words and the fonts. So like as you click on the design, you'll see up here, you've got fonts you can choose from. Got, yeah, so these are all the fonts over here. There's so many to choose from, guys, it's crazy. And so these little crowns that you see, those ones are premium ones, right? So if you are on a free account, you'll see the ones you can use and the ones that are more paid. And then you can change the font size, you can change the color, the, you know, like bold, italicized, the alignment of it. You can change it to all caps. You can do a list of like bullets. You can change the spacing, the letter spacing, the height. Like it gets pretty deep if you want to go there. But I'd say if you're just getting started, don't worry about that. Play with it on your own time. So I'm going to change this to, as you can see here, there's a little section that says brand colors. What do you know? These are my brand colors. So I'm going to change it. Ooh, I like. What do we like more? Oh, definitely not. You know what? I kind of like that. Okay, so this is my new logo for the bar I'm opening. Hope you guys can all make it and try my signature cocktail. When you're done and you're ready, you just click this download button over here. Okay, this is the most important part. Once your design is ready and you're happy with it, you need to download it. Here you can choose if you want it to be a high quality image, so PNG. This is good for logos, especially if you want like that transparent background and things like that. JPEG or just a smaller image file, you can download PDFs. This is for web, PDF for print. Sorry guys, it's getting a little noisy. We've got some doggies waking up and stuff. Oh, there she is. And you can also do like animated GIFs and stuff. So we're not going to get into that. All I want for this purpose of this training is I really want a PNG. I'm going to download that like this. Okay. And then it's going to prepare your design. As you can see, my new logo has just been downloaded. So usually what I do right away, and depends on the kind of computer setup you have, but I usually drag it right to my desktop. If I'm working on things actively, I will drag all the designs to my desktop and then clean them or scrub them later. So as you can see, that is my new logo, and that's how you're gonna do it. So now I wanna walk you through some more specific designs. Sid, come here. Come here. Hey, come here. Come here. Wanna say hi? Come here. Come say hi. Guys, this is Sydney. She's a little doughy and sleepy right now. Okay, Sid, I'm gonna finish up this lesson, then we'll go for a walk. Okay, so we've got our logo. Now I want to show you some other things, okay? So, oh my gosh, just a sec. We've got a sleepy dog coming in. Come on over here. Come lay down. Hang out with us. Yeah, come hang out with us. Good girl. Good girl. Oh my God, she's the cutest. It's the joys of working from home. Okay, guys, so now I'm going to take you to my home. So as you start to play around on Canva with your new account, every time that you finish a design, it's going to save into sort of like this dashboard area. And essentially that lives on the cloud. So you'll never have to worry about losing your designs. They're always going to stay there. Like I have designs in my desktop from like 4 years ago. So as you can see with a lot of my branding, with my branding colors, it's a lot of monochromatic colors, so like lots of black and white, and then usually I will use an accent color. So right now I'm really into this teal color. I've also been using a lot of like plant imagery to symbolize growth and growing. So if you check me out on social media, you'll notice that theme going on. So the reason I want to show you this dashboard is that there are a few different things that you can create to really speed up the creation of your brand online. So let's just say you create your brand and you're like, okay, hot damn, I need a logo. I need some social media banners. I need some graphic content to share on my social media platforms or on my emails. I'm gonna show you the importance of using your templates, okay? So first things first, before you really dive in here, remember this tool we were just using. You just exported all of your hex codes and your brand colors. This is a paid feature on Canva. So if you're not interested in the paid thing, just hang tight for a second. If you do level up, I think the first paid plan is like 10 or 12 bucks US. So if it's worth it to you, I just want to show you something really cool, really quick. That has like, it's just, again, another time saver. So over here on the sidebar, this thing that says brand kit. On Canva, it allows you to upload all of your branding things. So we're talking fonts. So I've got a little bit of an interesting situation here because I've got some branding items for my business and for Makers Collective, community and podcast that I run. So here we've got the Makers Co colors, more like, you know, fluorescent and bright. And then I use this first section to use the Makers Co font. So you can upload and choose all your fonts just over here, and you can customize that. And then down here, I've got my business's fonts that I use in all my marketing, and then my colors here. So I essentially would have gone right here, copied this. I'm just going to show you really quick. Copy it. Go to your brand kit. Let's just say we want to add a color. Paste. So now we've got a blue in there too. Kind of like that. Maybe I will use it. And then you can also upload your logos. So as you can see, I have like a transparent background logo here, and then this black background logo here. I also want you to know that I created both of these logos on Canva when we first started. And then we had a designer, I think not until a year later, take those and sort of revamp them. So really you can start with like all free tools. It's amazing. Okay, so the reason I wanted to show you that is like, so once you get into creating some designs, then it's much quicker to grab and paste and drag all of your brand elements into your things. So the first 3 things, I think the first 4 things I'm going to recommend that you create for your brand are a logo, which I just walked you through. So you can see mine is here. And then I want you to create, so depending on what social media platforms you're using, I think you should create some branded banners, first of all, because like I said, as people are going to be visiting all your different platforms, excuse me, they are going to be searching and looking for like that brand consistency. And not that they know that that's what they're looking for, but they're looking for things like, is this person professional? Are they consistent? Can I trust them? Should I believe them? Right? And so having a consistent brand that looks tight and uniform across all platforms is going to illustrate that to anyone who's landing on your stuff for the first time. So what I did, you can see that all of these are my banners. So I've created one for my email newsletter here. I've created one for my LinkedIn banner here. And then I've got one for my Facebook page here and my Facebook group here. The reason I wanted to show you all these different ones is because they're all different sizes. So let's just say you created one for all of your social media banners. It's then going to start to cut off, you know, the design. It's going to cut off the words, the image. It might stretch it and make it blurry. So that's where Canva is really going to help you out to make sure that everything is like exactly the way it should be. So I'm going to show you first of all this Facebook page one. So obviously you can see this is what mine ended as. But again, similar to that logo template, there's going to be templates for you to choose from, which might help you get going. So let's just say you're an architecture person. So then you're like, Lacey J builds buildings, whatever, right? So it just kind of gives you a place to start from. Contact, or wait, maybe we'll say Facebook page for first time condo buyers, whatever, right? I'm just making this up. Then from there you can, and this is where, like I just showed you, you can pre-plug in your branding colors so that they're easier to grab. Or if you're on the free plan, all you would do is sort of like add them as you go, and then you can play. And so basically, let's just show you. You would highlight the thing that you want to change the color of, and then you're going to go over here and pick one of your brand colors, right? So I want that to be black. I want this to be this color, and then maybe this. So this is just like, over here, you're going to be able to use different things. So like Canva gives you so many options, like, you know, lines, shapes, gradients, picture frames, graphs. And every single one of these things you can change and manipulate and customize. So this here, I want to change the color of it. So I'm going to go over here again. And there you go, right? So again, that was just me very quickly showing you how you can create whatever you want for your brand. And then bada boom, bada bang, you've got this professional looking banner that you can now use on your social media platform, right? So Lacey J Buildings, what's up? Come and buy your first condo from me, right? Yesterday, I was not a condo building person. Anyway, so I'm going to delete that now just because I don't need it. This is what I ended up choosing. So as you can see, I added like these elements, right? And then I just, very simply, this is my branded font. This is just an image that I dragged on. So actually what I'm going to do, you can press undo, redo here, resize. All these things are so great. Over here, you can duplicate. So I'm just going to copy this so I can show you how you can change it. So this here, another important thing, because we want you to not hide behind your brand, I want you to find some pictures of yourself that you can use in your branding. And don't be shy. And so over here, this is where you can upload your own images. So this is kind of funny. Laura and I just put up a video for our Instagram page on Makers Co. It's a funny image, but as you can see, once you upload it, you can drag it, drop it, make this your own, right? Obviously, this isn't a perfect image for this design. And then from there, you can change things. You can make your image bigger, smaller. It's amazing. So obviously, you know, you're going to have to start where you are and then get inspired from there. Once you've got this design, again, same thing, you're going to go to download. I want you to download this PNG version of it. And that's going to give you the exact banner size that you need for your Facebook page, right? So as you can see again, over here, it's been downloaded. I already dragged it over, so I'm not going to do that anymore. But now here's the next step. And this is where you can apply all of this learning and all of these resources and free tools and things that you've just created. So now I'm going to jump over to my social media pages. So over here, I just created a Facebook banner image, right? Then I dragged my design to my desktop. I went over here. You can change. So if you've got your Facebook pages, if that's a thing that you're using, you would just go here, change your cover image, and then you would upload photo. And you would choose your photo that you have over here on your desktop that you just made from scratch yourself like a boss. Okay, so that is what I did here. And then the reason I went and created other ones is because So here, I'm just gonna scroll down here. Oops. Da, da, da. Guys, the internet is a bit slow right now. Okay, I was looking for, okay, so that's my Facebook page. And then over here, I've got my private Facebook group. That is the private coaching group that I would love for you to join. Over here, again, you are getting a similar look and feel, right? You're still seeing who I am. It's now the title of my group, and it tells people who this is for. And this image was created on Canva with the exact dimensions that was required, right? So it's not cutting any of these words off or anything like that. And then when people jump into my group, they're like, holy crap, okay, this girl is legit. Everything feels good, looks good, looks professional, etc. And then what I did, so I'm also gonna jump over here into my LinkedIn page. As you can see, I created a specific design. So again, Canva has this for you. So mine is right here, as you can see. But just search for LinkedIn banner. There it is. See these numbers here? That's your dimension. So 1400 by 425 pixels. That's the size that LinkedIn is requiring for the banners for it to fit properly. So then you would go here and create a design, a banner. You can make it say, so what I've done, I've obviously created a similar banner across all platforms. You don't have to do that, but just make sure it feels uniform with you, the same colors, fonts, logos, etc. And then this is where you would go and start to create your LinkedIn banner. So it could be anything you want, guys. It could be anything, anything, anything at all. There's our faces again. So again, if you have your own image, you just kind of hover it over until it takes. And then from there, you can edit it. Sorry, Laura. She's going to see this and laugh. So yes, now I'm going to jump back over to LinkedIn. So again, this is where I uploaded my custom banner. The reason that I wanted to show you this is because on this design, you can see that I centered myself and the words of who I am and what I do more in the middle. You can see there's lots of negative space on the side of both sides of this image. That is because on LinkedIn, unlike Facebook, your icon, so your profile image, kind of sits on top of your banner design. So you want to make sure that none of these words are cut off, right? And then finally, I want to show you, so I use MailChimp.com for all of my email marketing. So if you're on my email list, then you've likely already seen some stuff, but this is the last place I wanted to show you how you can really tie your new brand together across multiple platforms. So over here, I have a template, a branded template that I use and that I send out every week to my email list. Inside here, what I did is I dragged and dropped my email banner design from Canva into my template. So now people are finding me on social media, they're seeing my website, they're going to my email or they're joining my email list and they're getting emails from me that all have a uniform, professional looking brand where I'm showing who I am, I'm saying what I am, who I am and what I do rather. And then I put liberate your life on purpose. I'm starting to integrate this into my branding because it's really like it captures the essence of what I want to help people do. And you might not be at a place where you have a tagline or a mission statement or anything like that, and don't worry about that. You can just play with it and evolve your brand as you go. But I really wanted to show you this, guys, because this is, these are really basic, free, easy to use tools that we literally just went and created a brand from conception to then carrying over your designs into your social media platforms that you can then go and publish tonight and present your new brand. Okay, so that is the tutorial. Just as a quick recap, when you get started, maybe jump over to Pinterest, start creating a brand board that's going to help you capture the look and feel of your new project or your brand. Start pinning things that you associate to feelings. So like capture the senses. What do you want people to be feeling when they're looking at your brand? I want you to pin colors, quotes, things, places. Maybe it's people, mentors, people that you look up to. pin anything that sort of starts to give you some inspiration for your brand and how you want it to make people feel and how you want to be introduced to the world, right? From there, maybe take a picture that you like a lot of colors from, and then bring it over to colors.co. Maybe that's coolers.co. I don't really know how you say that, but just plug that in for yourself, and then generate your color palette, download that, get all your hex codes, jump on over to canva.com and plug in your brand colors and all that stuff, and then start designing some templates for all your social media pages. And you should be working your way to building an email list and nurturing your current contacts. And you want to make sure that's branded as well. So people are finding you on social, they're finding you across all your platforms, they're engaging with your content, and you are giving them a really uniform experience online where they're building a relationship with you, emotional connection with you, and that trust is being built online. One last thing, guys. So once you're really kind of deep into Canva, it is, again, gonna change your life. There are some other really amazing things that you can create on here. So like if you just want to start getting your Instagram page going, there are templates they have for Instagram as well. So you can create an Instagram post, Instagram story. So really you can start to create marketing collateral for every single platform that you have. And then when you're ready to start sharing yourself and your content with the world, you can make sure that is branded as well. I think what I'm going to do soon is create another training where I show you how I use Canva to basically create my Instagram feed and create like the dopest feed you've ever seen. That keeps people coming back for more. That's how I've grown my following. That's how I keep my community really engaged and feeling good about being in my orbit, being in my tribe, and learning and growing with me. So I think we'll save that till next time. But guys, let me know if you have any questions about all this stuff. Check this out. And thank you for being here. Again, get inspiration on Pinterest, get your colors going, drag them into canva.com, start creating your brand assets. There's like a business card template, social media templates, content templates. That's where you really are going to get the ball rolling. And then once you're happy with your designs, download them, drag those final images to your desktop, and then start inserting them onto your platforms, into your email campaigns. If you do design a business card on there, you can download those and go to your local print store and so I went to our local print store and I think I got 100 business cards printed for like $25. It was so cheap. And I made those business cards on Canva, right? So make sure that you go ahead and do that. I'm so excited to hear what you think of this. If this helps you, again, if you have questions, the place to ask them is inside of my private coaching group, Liberate Your Life on Purpose. That's over here. And join us, and we will continue learning and growing with all of this kind of stuff. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that this was okay and not too clunky. I don't typically do screen recording, so this is my first go at it. Hopefully it was okay. Hopefully it sounded all right and it felt helpful. And I'm so excited to connect with you online. So until then, go create your brand on a budget and let me know what you think, and I will see you on the flip.